This is my harvester ant colony. Despite starting from a tiny little tube, over the past 30 days, the colony has expanded to an entirely new level. Over the month, I've documented their lifestyle, including them hunting, building shelter, eating, and more. I even introduced special predators and prey in order to simulate real-world scenarios in the wild. To understand how this all started, we gotta go back to day 1, where my entire colony was confined to a single tube. But while they may be small, they are already extremely powerful. To demonstrate this, I'm putting a live mealworm inside. The colony immediately went into defense mode, and the workers swarmed the worm. While half of the ants used their mandibles to crush the worm's exoskeleton, the other half gathered around the queen and larvae to protect them from the potential threat. Using their stingers, they injected a potent venom into the worm to paralyze it. The mealworm stood no chance, and its only purpose now was to serve as food for my colony over the next few days. But I could tell the colony was getting way too big for this tiny tube, and they were even trying to break their way out. So I figured now is a good time to expand them into a bigger home. This is a hybrid nest, and it's gonna be their new home. So I connected vinyl tubing, and soon enough, one of the ants started to walk towards the new nest. After discovering it, she traveled back to her home to tell the rest of the colony about the newfound land. And slowly, over the rest of the day, everyone moved into the nest. I let the colony get used to their new home for a few days, but by day 6, I was bored of just looking at the ants in a plastic nest. So I wanted to build their first real-world habitat with live prey and predators, a desert. For the build, I built up the substrate starting with a drainage layer, and then I added in a mix of sand and coconut fiber for the floor. I finally added in rocks, wood, and cacti to make it, a desert. The desert was complete, so I connected the ants with another vinyl tube, and quickly a couple workers ventured into the uncharted territory. In order to give a reason for the colony to explore further into this desert, I sprinkled some of their favorite food around the habitat, dandelion seeds. And let's just say those seeds made the ants start swarming into the desert, and everyone was doing their part to take food back to the queen. But one of the ants traveled a little too far into the desert and came across this little pit. Thinking it was nothing, he made the worst decision of his life and walked into it. Something was attacking, and the ant could do nothing about it. You see, earlier that day, I had placed antlion larvae into the desert. These guys create little holes in the sand and wait for an unlucky